Hey everyone, it's Philip from Red Barn Honeybees. Today we're out in one of our yards. We're going to be doing a not so fun part about of beekeeping. We're going to be doing some mite testing, and this does involve, unfortunately, killing some bees that are currently living in the hive. We put them through an alcohol wash that ends up killing them, but it also kills the mites. It gives us a gauge of how high the mite levels are in our hives. And if we don't keep these mite populations under control, they'll cause us to lose our hives either by fall, or usually they won't make it through winter. So we're going to try to avoid that this year and try to keep those levels to a bare minimum if we can. Temperatures are going to be dropping here in Minnesota starting tomorrow. This afternoon they're going to start dropping down below the threshold for us to do about seven days worth of mite away quick strips. So we're probably going to give that a go and see if we can't help control these mite levels. So we're going to go down, we're going to find a frame of brood that doesn't have our queen on it. We'll shake it off and we'll put some of those nurse bees into a mite wash or alcohol wash. So forgot my hive tool today with this quick run out here, so I'm going to be using a pocket knife, which isn't exactly ideal, but we'll make it work. It's about to storm too, so the girls aren't going to be in the best of moods today, but this is something we need to get done. Yeah, I ran out the door to try to get out here before the rain started and left my hive tool. Normally it's in the pocket of my coveralls that I'm wearing right now, but somehow I managed to forget that. So we're going to try to find a nice frame of brood here. This is all nectar. Pollen. And this is a hive that we actually put in a new queen in. So we never went down into this brood box because we saw eggs in the third deep up above. So we have a frame of nurse bees brood, some larva that's open, or eggs. So she's definitely been here laying. She's filling in back all the spots that they're opening up. We're going to give it a good look over so that we make sure the queen's not on here so we don't accidentally take her. So mites, you typically don't see them until their numbers are really bad, and then you'll start seeing them eating on the top of the bees. They've done a lot of research, and most of the time you can't see them. So a lot of people say, like, well, I didn't see any bees, or I didn't see any mites, I must not have a mite problem. But they're typically on the underbelly of the workers, so it's not something you typically see. Or you don't know you have mites until you're seeing diseases and already having some of those issues. So this looks like our winner for the frame. One last paranoid check. So we got a whole bunch of bees inside our plastic box there. Basically what you want to do is shake them down. You want to get about a half cup or 100 milliliters of bees. And then basically what we're going to do is we're just going to use some blue windshield washer fluid. And unfortunately, this is the not so fun part about beekeeping, is killing these girls like this, but it's for the good of the colony. Like I said, this isn't something we enjoy having to do, but it's sacrificed some for the greater good of the all. You kind of start learning that you have to kind of think of bees not as an individual with each worker, but you need to think of the colony as one organism. You know, if part of them are sick, the whole thing will eventually fizzle out and die. So these frames, there's only 9 frames in this box, and this thing is jam-packed. I think I'm gonna go down one more box though. Never forget your hive tool, folks. Frame of brood. Nice and full on that side, but this side, right here, she has just laid out. See some fresh nurse bees on here. This will probably be the one we're going to take. Just going to quick go over it again, make sure she's not on here. So we're just shaking them in here. We got about our 100. Alright, so I have them in. And we're going to get this closed up. Alrighty everyone, so basically we went through. Now we're going to try to get to the moment of truth here. Because we have this screen top, I can just screen top on here with the mites, or the bees, and hopefully no mites. So I'm going to try to get it so you can see it, but that guy right there, that is a Varroa mite, and that is what we are looking for when we do these rinses. So they typically say that if your hive has more than 3 per 100 bees, and they say in that half scoop of bees that we took 300 bees. So if you were to get 9 total mites in there, that you should immediately treat, because your numbers are probably a lot higher than you think, and they're getting to that danger threshold. So a lot of times too, you know, during this time of the year when there's so much brood, the mites, they reproduce underneath that capping that's covering the brood as the bees are about to hatch. So you don't really know what your full numbers are because of them being under there. You know, you can't really account for those, but this will give you a good reading and a good shot at least of knowing what your count is and whether or not you're at that danger level that you need to treat as soon as possible. So rewashing this other hive back through, I just kind of swish it around a couple more times. There was one in that one. So right now it looks like we're sitting at less than 1 mite per 100 bees. Obviously that's just those that are out and active on the bees that are out on comb and not showing what's underneath the I can't talk today. Holy cannoli. So things are looking promising here. Typically in the past, you know, we haven't always done this, and that's one of the areas that we really dropped the ball on, and where we're really trying to pick it up this year and make sure that we're taking these extra steps to ensure the successfulness of our bees. A lot of people will disagree with this strategy, and you know, they don't like the idea of hurting the bees, but you're gonna lose hives. It's one of the biggest problems facing honeybees nowadays. Overall, I'm going to say we're pleasantly surprised and happy. Our oxalic acid in the spring must have done more than we thought. We didn't do testing there to mite or alcohol washes to see what the efficacy of that was, and that was something that we should have done. But it obviously kept things under control, or we came through winter with very low mite counts. So we'll probably test later on here in July, because as the summer goes on, as more brood is being laid, the mite populations will really explode on you. And our most important bees are going to be the ones that we're going to be trying to raise in September or later. Those are the bees that they're going to be our winter bees, so we need them them to have the healthiest bodies, and that's what these mites feed off of. And as the bees are malnourished and the colony weakens, you won't get those strong bees that you'll need to get you through winter. So we're going to really try to make sure that we stay on top of these mite levels, and even if it's at the expense of some of our honey production, we'll gladly sacrifice some of that to make sure that we have hives that come through winter. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please feel free to hit that like button and subscribe. It helps us a lot. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of our future videos that are going to be coming out. And if you have any questions or you see me do something wrong, by all means let me know down in the comments. I'd be happy to have a conversation with you and see where I can better myself as a beekeeper, because I don't know everything. I am constantly learning and I make a ton of mistakes. I'll be the first one to admit that. So it's Phil from Red Barn Honeybees. Thank you.